Quick gut check. If Manchester United qualify for the Champions League, do you think the transfer business gets bigger or smaller? Obviously bigger, right? More prize money, more prestige, an easier pitch to target, to sponsors and to every single person. That's how it's supposed to work, right? Except it is not what happened. Not once, not twice. 5 separate times over the last 12 years. Manchester United most reckless, most record-breaking transfer windows have come in the summers when they had no Champions League football to sell. They had none of them. And in almost every summer where they actually earn their place back in the Europe's top competition, the business goes quiet, and sometimes embarrassingly quiet. Today we are breaking down every Manchester United summer transfer window since 2013, splitting it by whether they were heading into the Champions League, the Europa League, or nothing at all. That is what we are going to be bringing to you today. And the pattern that comes out of the other side will change the way that you read every transfer window story from United between now and September 1st. I need you guys to bear with me because this is going to get absolutely insane. Let's start with the crisis window. Every summer, Manchester United went in having just missed out on the Champions League. Every single one produced a record fee. Every single one. In 2014, Moyes had just taken United to 7th, their worst finish in decades. For the first time in years, United have zero European football at all. Louis van Gaal comes in, and the answer in that situation was the British transfer record for Angel Di Maria at £59.7 million. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Talking about Elliot Anderson going for 113 or 130, who knows. But back to the matter. Falcao comes in on loan. Under Herrera, Luke Shaw, Rojo, and Daley Blind walks in. United alone account for £169 million of that summer spend. Close to a fifth of the entire Premier League's outlay that summer. It's reported at the time as a direct reaction to the club's worst season in the generation. 2015, United had missed the top 4. It's insane. They had missed the top 4. They were Europa League bound. Van Gaal is out. Jose Mourinho comes in. And the answer is Paul Pogba for a world record fee. Ibrahimovic comes in as a free transfer. Henrik Mkhitaryan comes in. And Eric Bailly also comes in. This was close to £150 million, dominated by one headline grabbing number in Paul Pogba. 2016, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side misses the top 4 again, back into the Europa League, and Harry Maguire comes in, which breaks the world record fee for a defender in £80 million. And stacked upon that was a £50 million for Arouan Bissaka. The next year, 2017, Erik ten Hag inherits a squad that finished 6th Europa League yet again, and it's the biggest of the lot until recently, because £227 million was spent, and arguably almost 100 million euros was spent in the same window. I understand Anthony was £80 million, and what's his name? Casemiro was 60 with add-ons or whatever the situation was on deadline day. And in 2025, you all watch this one live. 15th place, the worst Premier League finish in 50 years. No European football of any kind. United's response? Mateus Cunha, Branu Mbeumo, and Benjamin Sesko. 3 attackers who well over £200 million between them. Miss the Champions League, United will break another record. It is absolutely that way. 5 out of 5, this is not a coincidence anymore. That right there is a goddamn pattern. It is. It is a pattern that we need to on the Champions League, and we see a record breaking. That's how we see it. Now let's flip it. Look at what happens in the summers where United actually earn the Champions League football. 2013, fresh off the title. Ferguson is gone. You get me? Moyes comes in, and it's a genuine farce. United miss out on Thiago Alcantara, Gareth Bale, Sami Khedira, Herrera, and end up with Marwan Fellaini as their only basic real signing in that summer. Of course, we know in January then we saw Juan Mata. But that was only thing we did that summer was sign Marwan Fellaini. And that's where everything started going crazy. In 2018, after United's best post-Ferguson league finish, second place under Jose Mourinho, the window where he was famously asking for Harry Maguire, we went famously quiet, bringing in Diego Dalot and Fred, combined for around £66 million. A net spend for the entire summer was barely £53 million. Then let's move to 2020, pandemic year, second place again. United barely moved into 6-1 home defeat. We barely moved until that 6-1 home defeat to Tottenham Hotspur forces a panic deadline day scramble for Telles, Cavani and Pelestri. That's what happened. And even in 2021, Jadon Sancho, Rafael Varane and Ronaldo sensational return that one summer that actually looked like a Champions League statement window gets remembered as a disappointment the moment United finished 6th the following year. And in 2023, we brought in Andre Onana, Rasmus Højlund and Mason Mount. And that was arguably rated one of the worst of the 7 Champions League windows that we have had in that particular time frame from 13 to 2023. The two that don't fit their extreme is 2015 and 2017, where just normal, moderate spending, moderate business, nothing that dominated back pages, which is its own point. Even United's good Champions League windows never carry the record-breaking energy for a crisis summer. It never does. 7 chances to spend like a club that has arrived, that is ambitious. Not one of them looks like a panic window we just covered. Not one of them. Let's actually put this in a number that we can all understand. Instead of talking about vibes, let's put it in a number. Average it across all 14 windows. Some are heading into the Champions League, have the run about £102 million gross. Every other summer, Europa League or nothing at all averages £183 million. Let me tell you guys, let me repeat that so you guys understand. The summers heading into the Champions League have a run about £102 million in gross. Every other summer, Europa League or nothing at all that we get averages around £183 million. That's close to 80% more spending in windows United didn't earn the Champions League. It's insane. It truly is. You can't tell me that it's not. So here's the question that actually matters. Why is that? Why do they behave like this? It's tempting to say it's about money. Champions League football brings in prize money. Missing. What is the situation that's missing in this situation? It means smaller budget, unfortunately. Except that's how United's finances work. Between 2013 and 2024, United's net transfer spend was around £1.13 billion, the highest of any Premier League club across the entire stretch for one league title in that time. United's income comes overwhelmingly from commercial deals, kit deals, sponsorships, global tour, not UEFA prize money. Missing the Champions League barely touches what the board can spend. It barely touches that. What actually changes isn't the budget, to be honest, based on what I've seen so far. It's the urgency. Miss out, and the boardroom needs to be seen to be doing something big, fast, and visible. A name that would dominate back pages. Whatever it costs, we will pay. Qualify, and that pressure evaporates. The money is there. Either way, the panic is just not there anymore. Because we have qualified for Champions League. Because the fans have maybe relaxed and are so excited and elated that they have qualified for the Champions League, that they rest on their laurels. But here's a twist. Here's the twist. Before one summer, it looked like the whole cycle might actually 2024, INEOS' first full window in charge. Dan Ashworth and Oba Benrada running recruitment. And it's genuinely a disciplined window. They brought in Joshua Zirkzee, they brought in Lenny Yoro, Matthijs de Ligt, Mazarawi, and Manu Ugarte. 5 signings. And for the first time since 2020, not one of them cost more than £60 million. It was funded largely through the outgoing sales rather than pure excess. On paper, a Europa League preceding window, behaving exactly like United's supposed calm Champions League window. That's what we are meant to be doing. Or the supposed calm Champions League window stereotype. And then in 2024-2025 happened. 15th place, a Europa League final defeat. And the following summer, went straight back to the marquee reactive business anyway. Just with better bookkeeping behind it. So the discipline is real. It's not stronger than a genuine crisis yet. The discipline is real. It's just not stronger than a genuine crisis that United reacts to. Which brings us to right now, the summer of 26. United's actual return to the Champions League for the first time since 2023-2024, after Michael Carrick came in on the interim basis in January and steered the club into third. So far, the window is tracking a quiet Champions League pattern, not the panic one. Andre Santos, a name we covered this channel, is at £48 million. Yuri Tillemans arrived cheap on a release clause. Carl Darlow, a low-cost backup goalkeeper. Casemiro's exit was agreed back in January. Edison's move to Atalanta looks done, bar the medical that did not happen, or it happened and they found something in his knee and all of a sudden, boom, it's not happening. Elliot Anderson, we love this player, we love this player, we love this player. He's our number one priority. He is out to Manchester City. If the last 12 years is anything to go by, the smart money is against a record fee window. But it doesn't close until September 1st. And if there's one thing the data shows, is that Manchester United do not behave the way you would expect them to. So drop it in the comments. Does this pattern hold all the way to deadline day, or does this boardroom finally breaks its own habit? I'll be tracking every deal as it lands. So subscribe to the channel. Don't miss out on the moment that this theory gets tested for real. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.